Now, Mozambique's opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, is back in the country. He fled just days after disputed elections in October, which led to riots and millions in economic damage. Mondlane was seen holding a Bible and praying before calling on his supporters to continue the protests shortly after touching down in Maputo. He says he's ready for talks over the elections in which the ruling Frelimo party was declared the winner. A Mozambican civil society group says 278 people died since demonstrations started.
Eu tinha que quebrar essa narrativa de que estou ausente por vontade própria das iniciativas de diálogo. Então estou aqui presente, estou aqui em carne e osso para dizer que se querem negociar, se querem dialogar comigo, querem ir à mesa de conversações, estou aqui presente, então acabem com essa narrativa.
Meanwhile, President Cyril Ramaphosa says Pretoria is closely monitoring the situation in Mozambique.
We're watching very closely what is happening in Mozambique. And obviously, Mozambique is such a close neighbor to us, a very good trading partner, member of SADC. And as SADC members, we are prepared, willing, and able to give them as much support as we possibly can to be able to navigate their way out of the challenges that they face. And we hope that the 15th will go well, and they have our full support in every way possible.
Let's talk more on the situation in Mozambique now. And joining me is Solomon Mondlane from the Democratic Alliance Coalition in Mozambique. Mr. Mondlane, good evening to you, and good to have you once again. Let's start with the reception to Venancio Mondlane as he landed at Maputo today. Talk to us about the reception to him. How many people do you estimate turned out?
Good evening, Cody, and good evening to the viewers at home. What a day, what an emotional day in the history of our country. This is the day that every Mozambican who is longing for freedom under the slavery of a black man have been looking towards. And today, that day has come where we are breaking the bondage of fear in our country. Venancio Mondlane carries the hopes and aspirations of our people. For the first time, to have such a leader who is willing to sacrifice his life. More than 20,000 people were seen in the streets of our country. Venancio Mondlane came in peace. He demonstrated that he's willing to rebuild this country that has been vandalized for more than 49 years. This country whereby people live in fear. People fear to speak or to stand for their rights, where people are deprived of what belongs to them. And this is the situation that we are facing in our country. And today raised so many hopes, the arrival of Mondlane in Mozambique, back home. And we were so excited about that.
Let's talk about the security forces and how they were able to handle this situation, because I would imagine they were also monitoring the whole turnout of people at the airport. As you say, 20,000 is the figure you use. How did they react to that crowd?
Cody, I just want to say, before I answer that question that you have just asked, to say we were just scared. His arrival kept us asking many questions. What will happen to the people's leader, to the people's president, a man who was voted by the people? Three things in our mind. He could be killed today. He could be arrested today. Or the government will surely show up to receive him. We were happy that private security companies and the other forces that were organized were seen trying to protect it. But the government security forces were all in the streets blocking the roads. And the people, today we didn't have protesters. We had people from their families who were meeting their brother, who were meeting their leader, who were meeting their father at the airport. But the police decided to barricade all the streets and started firing tear gas. 2 people were shot today. And the question that remains, and we're asking, who is violent? Because today, no one declared this day to be a protesting day. This day was the day to receive the son of the soil, the son of this country, the hope of this nation. And the police, the state police, decided to shoot their own people. The people whom they are claiming they voted for them. They gave them 71%, then they reduced the percentage to 65%. And these are the people they are killing today.
Yeah.
Who then voted for them?
Let's talk about what Mr. Mondlane said, at least part of what he said as he arrived in Mozambique today, and that is that he is ready for talks over the election results. Do you think that the government is, well, let me not say the government, but perhaps those that he may be in conflict with, mainly Frelimo, do you think that they have the appetite to get into such negotiations?
Mondlane has been ready to talk. He has been ready for dialogue. We have been advising him to say the way out of this is dialogue. We have been calling dialogue even when they were not even interested at listening to us. Mondlane, the first thing that he said when he arrived, he said, I am here to prove to the government that I am not running away. They have been saying that I ran away, I'm unreachable. They cannot come to me because they don't even know where I am. I'm coming here as the citizen of this country who is willing to speak to those who want to speak to me. And at that particular time, Claudia, the presidency were having a meeting with some leaders of other political parties at the time when Venancio Mondlane arrived in the country. We thought they will postpone that meeting so that they can give space to the man who is really supposed to talk about what is happening in this country, being Venancio Mondlane. But what we have noted, Cody, is that President News keeps on shifting the goalposts. When you are busy targeting a certain spot, those goalposts will be shifted, and we are not getting to where we want to reach at particular moment. So he's avoiding the man he has been summoning to come and talk to him, and we'll wait to see what will happen in the next few days before the 15th of January, because the president for the people has arrived.
Mr. Mondlane, very briefly, I've got to let you go, but the SADC has organized, we understand, a group of elders to try and mediate in this situation. Have you seen any sight of them in the country, or are they doing this in another form? How effective do you think they're going to be?
We know that the elders from the SADC Gentlemen's Department are here in the country. We thought the leaders of SADC, not the elders, because The elders are not into this level that this situation in the country requires. But also to see that the SADC Gentlemen's Organization is playing games with us. They've asked for feedback from their elders by the 15th of January, when President-elect of Frelimo is supposed to be installed in power. Now, before that, we thought they will prioritize talks between Venancio Mondlane and the SADC leadership. But that's not happening. They are busy shifting the goalposts because what they know is to meet in those air-conditioned houses and share a drink or two and celebrate the looting of the wealth of our country. We can hear the president of South Africa. He knows that 50% of our gas in Mozambique goes to South Africa. 80% of our electricity in Mozambique go to South Africa. They buy it on less amount. While here in Mozambique, we pay double amount of what is produced in our country. And they will tell us who are busy flocking their countries, when in actual fact, our country is being looted by South Africa, it's being looted by Rwanda, it's being looted by France. And we in Mozambique, who are treated as slaves, we live in misery, and you are being shot by the guns that they have, which they exchange with these countries.
All right. Solomon Mondlane, thank you very much for your time. He is from the Democratic Alliance Coalition in Mozambique.